Okay, today we're doing something a little different. We're putting down the microscope and picking up the telescope to conduct, let's call it, an astrological autopsy of the pandemic. We're going to explore how Vedic astrology actually interpreted the cosmic events that were unfolding at the time.
Think back to early 2020. While scientists were racing for answers in the lab, another group of people was looking for data in a very different place, the sky. Practitioners of ancient astrology believe they saw a story being written right there in the stars. So the big question is, what exactly did they see?
You see, according to this Vedic interpretation, the pandemic wasn't just some random event. No, it was more like a cosmic drama, and it had a very specific cast of characters. These are what we'll call the planetary protagonists, the celestial bodies whose positions and interactions apparently set the stage for everything that happened.
First up, we have our main culprit, Rahu. Now, in Vedic astrology, Rahu isn't a physical planet. It's a nodal point of the moon, a shadow planet. And its job description is pretty intense. It governs things like obsession and, most importantly for our story, epidemics, viruses, and poisons. So you can think of Rahu as the amplifier.
Next in the lineup is Saturn, or Saturn. You might know it as the Great Taskmaster. Saturn is all about structure, discipline, and karma. And when Saturn gets involved, it's rarely a small thing. It deals in large-scale, collective karma, mass diseases, and those really hard, profound lessons that humanity has to learn together.
Then you've got Jove, or Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Whatever it touches, it just makes bigger, and it connects things to a wider system. It literally represents globalization and our interconnected networks, so in this story, it was the engine for global spread. And get this, it also represents Jivan, which is the life force itself.
And finally, there's Marte, or Mars. Mars is the activator. It's the planet of action, raw energy, and force. Its role in this drama was to be the trigger, the force that allowed the virus to actually break through the body's defenses and show up physically. It's the energetic spark that lights the fire.
So let's put the whole team together, right? You've got Rahu, which represents the virus itself. Mars is the trigger that lets it into our systems. Jupiter acts like the global distribution network, spreading it absolutely everywhere. And then, overseeing the whole thing is Saturno, framing the entire event as this huge moment of collective karmic reckoning.
Now, having these players on the board is one thing, but for a massive event to actually kick off, they need to be in just the right place at just the right time. This is what the source material describes as the perfect celestial storm.
And if you look at late 2019 to early 2020, it was incredibly active up there astrologically. It all started on December 26 with a really powerful solar eclipse. Just a couple of weeks later, on January 12th, we got a major Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And then, as if that wasn't enough, Jupiter decided to join the party, creating this massive pileup of planetary energy.
And that Saturn-Pluto conjunction, that's a huge deal. Astrologers will point back through history and show you that this specific alignment has often lined up with periods of massive global upheaval. We're talking wars, economic depressions, and epidemics. So for them, seeing it arrive in January 2020 was a major red flag.
Okay, let's add another really specific detail to the mix. At the time of the outbreak, Rahu, our planet of epidemics, was moving through the constellation of Gemini. And what kind of sign is Gemini? It's an air sign.
So you can see where this is going. The crucial point here, according to this interpretation, is that direct link. A virus planet in an air sign, it amplified the potential for airborne respiratory transmission. This is one of the clearest, most direct correlations that the astrological analysis pointed to.
Okay, so we've talked about the who, the planets, and the how, the alignments and the transits, but Vedic astrology always wants to go deeper and explain the why. Why did this all happen now? And this brings us to the whole idea of a karmic reckoning.
So, a specific branch called Nadi astrology offers this take. It suggests there was a serious imbalance going on. Jupiter, representing our collective life force, our Jivan, was in a weakened position. At the very same time, Saturno, the karma karaka, or the bringer of karma, was incredibly strong. They argue this cosmic imbalance made humanity especially vulnerable to a big karmic event.
Let's go back to that powerful solar eclipse in December 2019 for a second. During that event, Ketu, who is basically Rahu's counterpart, representing endings and letting go, was located in a very specific part of the sky known as the Mula Nakshatra.
And why does Mula matter? Well, its core meanings are pretty heavy: destruction, uprooting, and karmic revelation. The idea here is that the eclipse happening in this exact spot acted like a cosmic signal, kicking off a period that was meant to destroy old structures and reveal some deep underlying truths.
So after looking at the suspects, the timeline, and the motive, what's the final astrological verdict on the pandemic? Let's wrap up the key findings from this whole cosmic investigation.
In essence, it really boils down to three main conclusions. 1. The pandemic was basically announced or foreshadowed by a super rare and potent combination of astrological events. 2. The specific placements of Rahu, Mars, and Jupiter created the perfect conditions for a virus to emerge and then spread globally through the air. And 3, the bigger picture, the Saturn and Pluto conjunction, framed the entire period as one of deep collective karma and a necessary global transformation.
And that brings our autopsy to a close. Now, regardless of what you personally believe, it's a pretty fascinating and structured narrative. It kind of leaves us with a final question to think about. In times of huge uncertainty, what is the role of ancient systems like astrology in helping us find meaning in it all? It's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining us.